Welcome to Cyberball.
Cyberball is an Atari arcade game of 7-man American football, but instead of human players you take control of robots. The standard Cyberball cabinet consists of 2 monitors, each with 2 sets of controls for the maximum of 4 players. But Atari Games released a single player and 2-player versions as well. Personally, I'm not a fan of American football. It's probably why I'm so bad at playing this game. The standard configuration of the arcade machine allows 2-player cooperative play, or 2-player head-to-head, or 4-player head-to-head play. Playing 2 teams of 2 persons open up a new dimension of gameplay. Computer-controlled avatars ran offense patterns in very specific ways before reaching the assigned passing spots. Human players, however, could exploit the fact that a number of offensive plays started with identical formations. By choosing one play but moving their avatars in imitation of a similar but different play, the offense team could distinguish the intentions before suddenly breaking out of their assigned pass locations. This offensive flexibility forced defending players to quickly recognize plays and move to break them up by rushing to what they guessed was the intended passing spot. This ability to improvise in 4-player mode built up the popularity of Cyberball, leading to many tournaments across the United States for a period of time. The Mega Drive port was developed by Sega, and believe it or not, the Japanese version not only has the coolest box, but also could be played online via the Mega Modem. The Western version had pretty awful box art, and the online versus feature removed. As far as the port goes, it's a fairly good one. The graphics resemble the arcade original rather well, plus it also retains the speech. The gameplay is also done well, plus now you have the ability to buy new players before games.
Ready, set, hot.
The Atari ST port by Quickcell is not very good at all. What we have here is a slow, unresponsive, jerky mess of a port. It's pretty sad when you think that the ST was Atari's premier home system at the time. Quixel also handled the Amiga port. In fact, they handled all the home computer ports. This is basically the same as the Atari ST version, but with much improved audio. It's still a slow and sluggish port. Wow, who would have thought that the Commodore 64 port would have been better than the Amiga and ST? Well, probably quite a few of you, as it's not that uncommon. So yes, yet again the 8-bit home computer port is better than the 16-bit systems. The 3D perspective view has gone and the audio is minimal, but what is important is the smooth scrolling and snappy menu system. This feels more like a console port than a computer port. Well done. I do like the colourful graphics on this Amstrad CPC port, however, the gameplay I'm not too keen on. As with many Amstrad games, this is slow and jerky. Cyberball is a slow game anyway, due to it being based upon American football, but add in slow gameplay to the constant stopping and starting, and we start to fall asleep in front of the TV. Now here's a surprise, the ZX Spectrum port has gone with the 3D perspective and the graphics are reasonably done. But all is not good with this port. Boy is this slow. It is so slow that it makes the Amstrad CPC version look fast. Not only is this slow, but the AI seems to be rather dumb. Most of the time, everyone just gathers up into a pile, resulting in what looks like a robotic orgy of sorts. Definitely not a good port.
Welcome to Cyberball.
Originally Tengen were going to release Cyberball on the NES, until Jellicoe stepped in and bought the rights. What surprised me about this port is just how much speech they kept from the arcade original. It's quite impressive for a NES. What's also impressive is just how fast this plays. Maybe even a little too fast. It's just a shame that the port suffers from a little sprite flicker. The Atari Lynx port is technically not Cyberball, but the upgraded kit for the original arcade cabinet, known as Cyberball 2072. It's basically the same game, but with the following improvements: new modes, Game Breakers and Rookie mode, bug fixes, 100 additional added plays, and introduced the power back. The Lynx version is pretty well done. Despite the low resolution of the Lynx, we can still make out what we are controlling, plus the 3D perspective looks great on the Lynx. And let's take a look at all those versions of Cyberball running side by side.